You're listening to Honestly Aging by VigRHealth, a podcast where we explore what it's like getting older, the peaks, the valleys, and everything in between. In this season of Honestly Aging by VigRHealth, we're covering topics related to solo aging. I'm your host, Cheryl Proska. Let's grow old together. On today's episode, I'm joined by Pat Hall. Pat is a friend to the organization in that she is my colleague's mom. Pat is at the tail end of planning a 4.5-month cruise around the world, and she is joining us today to talk about her experience with planning and preparing to take this voyage as a solo traveler. Pat, welcome. Thank you for being here. How are you today?
I'm very good. Thank you. This is my pleasure to join you today.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. It's a pleasure to have you. So Pat, to kick things off, tell us about this trip you have planned.
This is a lifetime dream. COVID's kind of stopped all of my travel. I've loved to travel, and I've been a widow for a long time, but I've usually traveled with friends. And for whatever reason, I saw this pamphlet of this world tour, looked at all of the countries that were there and said, just about all of these things are on my bucket list. And if I don't do it now, when am I ever going to do it? The problem with that was that I have no friends that would be able to join me. This was an expensive trip. I have friends who have husbands or partners that aren't well, or friends that couldn't afford this trip. So I thought about this. I talked to all of my children and said, this is something that I really want to do. What are your thoughts? And all three of them wanted to come. Unfortunately, they have jobs. They can't go with me for 4.5 months. But I bit the bullet and said, I'm going to do this. And I did. I signed up for this. Getting there from 1.5 years ago to now has been a real learning experience for A, traveling around the world, B, traveling by myself, and C, being a senior. Maybe that should be reversed, being a senior and then the other two. So far, I think I've covered all of my bases, and I'm still working on that. So there we are.
So as being a solo traveler, also being a senior, and also being a woman, how have you gone about preparing for that? I'm thinking emotionally, financially, and also for your safety.
Emotionally, this is probably a totally emotional decision on my part, because I've always wanted to go to places like Egypt and India and Vietnam and Australia. And this gives me the chance to do all of those. I just get a taste of everything, and not the full experience. But if I waited, I wouldn't have the experience at all. Financially, it is a chunk of money. Because there's no single rate. I'm doing a Viking cruise, by the way, and there's no single rate for this. So I'm literally paying double what a married couple or two people traveling together would do. But that was how much I wanted to do this. And that was one of the considerations when I talked to my children and said, this could be a part of your inheritance, that I'm taking. And everybody's answer, and I had talked to them individually, all three of them said, this is you to do. It's not, we all have jobs. we will all take care of ourselves. Don't worry about it. If this is something that you want to do, go. In preparation for this, I have talked to two of my close friends who have done a lot of world traveling. And the one friend has been just about all over the world. And we had dinner and we talked about me doing this for the first time. And she gave me some wonderful tips rather, of how to do this, how to secure your pocketbook, never wear sandals anywhere, open-toed shoes, because what if you hit something and break a toe for the rest of your trip? Always carry used toilet roll papers with you on a string. Keep them in your bag, because you never know where you're going to be in some of these countries that don't have nice bathrooms at all, where they don't have anything other than a hole in the ground. So wrap it around your neck. You've always got something there. And I thought, I never would have thought of that.
Never.
So anyway, simple traveling trips or tips like that. My other friend came over and we packed my bag. 4.5 months of clothes is almost impossible to choose. I, ahead of time, had literally gone on the weather station and tracked the average temperature in each of the countries that I'm going to be in. So it's ranging from a high of 90, possibly 97 in Vietnam, to 40 when we're in the Mediterranean. So, but 75% of the trip should be in warm weather. So that's kind of how I packed. And she came over and we literally pulled things out of my closet and said, you need 10 days of tops. So take 5 bottoms and then take tops that will mix and match with all of these. And I did.
Mm-hmm.
So they all went back in the closet, but at least I had an idea from her of how to pack this. Take a whistle. That was the other thing that she said. Take a whistle when you're out, especially if you're someplace by yourself. You never know where you're going to be, that you might need that. So tips like this have been really helpful to get me prepared for this.
And how has your health played into all of this planning and preparing you've been doing?
That's been the most interesting journey to get here. In January, knowing that I was going on this trip, I signed up for a 5-day-a-week fitness program. So I've been doing that, and the difference in my strength, my core, my legs, everything has been like night and day from January till now. We were using today is arm day, and we were using weights, and here I am lifting 15 pounds over my head, and it was like, hey, I'm really doing this. So that's one of the positives that I've done to get here. The other things is that I have had appointments with all of my specialists to say, I'm doing this, what's the best game plan? And I have meds from my gastroenterologist who says, you may need these, you may not, take them with you. I have gone to a vein specialist, and my swelling legs because of varicose veins, there really isn't anything I can do at this point. Had I started earlier, I probably could have. But on the positive note, by next summer, it should be better. I can work on it when I get back. So I've dealt mentally with wearing support hose every day and said, if you have to do it, Pat, you have to do it. Just look at it that way. So I have had some successes with seeing the specialists, some some things that haven't worked as well as I was hoping, but there's nothing at this point that is stopping me from doing this. I can live with all of my existing health issues. I take a lot of meds. I've had a blood clot in the past, so I'm on a blood thinner. I've inherited high blood pressure from my mother, so I take lots of that. Getting my drugs for this 158-day trip has been the hardest piece of the puzzle. My drug company will give me only a 90-day supply. So I will have enough drugs to get me to that 90 days at home, but then I'm going to be short on the back end. So I'm not quite sure how I'm going to cover that just yet. I may need individual prescriptions from my doctors and then pay full price, which is a big bite. I was not expecting that on top of everything else. But you know, as my daughter said to me, Mom, you're so far into this, just do it. So I will.
And it sounds as if you have handled the unexpected so beautifully, with being able to hear from your friends and take their guidance and be accepting and understanding that things are going to come up within the planning that you just didn't think of, and just being able to adapt and pivot. Do you feel as if that's something you've always intrinsically been able to do? Is that a part of your personality or something that you've learned along the way?
Definitely learned along the way. I'm kind of a introvert extrovert. You know, I'm not quite a total extrovert, and there's a lot of portions of me that is an introvert. But I've learned along the way that we've all had things go wrong in our lives that were heartbreaking, tragic. And I like to think when my husband died, he was 44 when he died. And I like to think that we have all come through that. We have all learned and gone forward. I can't say that I am not anxious about this trip. I am. But there's enough of an introvert within me that says, you know what? If I'm not having a good time, I can just go back and watch TV in my room, which is what I do at night now. So, you know, that I don't know if that answers the question, but I just try to look at this in a more positive vein. If it's something that you want to do, you've got to cross all those bridges to get there. So that's kind of what I'm working on.
Would you prefer to age independently in your own home or live in a nursing facility? I know what I'd rather do. Friends Life Care membership offers just that. Plan today for a future lived at home with vitality, independence, growth, and resilience while protecting your savings. Learn about your options at a free seminar or webinar. Register at friendslifecare.org/register or call 215-628-8964. Welcome back to Honestly Aging by VigRHealth, where today I'm joined by Pat Hall to discuss the topic of solo travel. Pat, I too am an ambivert, I think it's called, where part introvert, part extrovert. And something that I find to be challenging is ways that I can connect with people, trying to find a way, especially if I'm by myself and trying to enter into a group. So what might you have done or be prepared to do to try to connect with all these people you'll be traveling with on your cruise?
Well, the good news is there's a fitness room on the boat, and they do yoga and Pilates classes. So I'm at the point now that I would be comfortable going to one of these classes, which means that there's going to be other people there doing the same classes. So I'm hoping that that's one way I can connect. The second thing is that I've learned to play Mahjong. I am not great. I am truly a beginner. I always tell them that, wait a minute, I'm thinking, but I can play. And that's one of the things that they have on the ship are Mahjong classes or rooms, to go play that. So I'm hoping that that's a way that, again, I can connect with people. I'm on Facebook with a lot of the Viking travelers who love traveling. And I thought it was really interesting yesterday. One of my friends had told me to put a decoration on my door. So I bought one, I figure I can throw it in my suitcase. And yesterday, the conversation online was about decorations. And it was so funny because probably 75% of the people said, why do that? Why take up the space? Who needs it? This is more an intellectual group. And a couple others are saying, yeah, it'd be fun. And I said, you know what? I'm going to be the one with the big hello on the door, so that if somebody is looking to say, let's go out to drinks or whatever, they can just find me at hello. So we'll see how that works.
And your cabin is going to be, in essence, your home for 4.5 months.
Yes.
I can totally understand how you would want to make it feel more at home. And then what a wonderful way to have people be able to find you and connect. So I love all of those ideas.
Well, let's hope that I don't put too many people off with this.
Not at all.
Who knows? So yeah, it's going to be an adventure. And I might have said this before. I know what's going to happen to me. I'm going to be 2 weeks into this thing, and we're going to be out at sea for 5 days, and I'm going 5 days straight. And I'm going to say, what in the world did I do? I'm homesick. I want to go home. I don't want to be on this ship. I don't want to look at ocean. And then another 2 weeks after that, I'm going to say, man, this is the best thing ever. I hope. I'm ready. I'm ready for the disappointment or the what have I done mentality. But I'm hoping that once that passes, that I can look at this and say, wow, this is the best thing I've ever done in my life. So we'll see. I can't guarantee the outcome, but we'll see how it goes.
Now, you talked a bit about having to plan for your medication management and as well as your packing. What about planning to leave your home for that long?
I've got that pretty much wrapped up. I have a lot of house plants, and a good friend of mine. Oh, let me start with the home itself. That's probably the best place to start, because I'm going to have the water turned off. The cable is going to be on vacation. They give you a reduced rate if you go away. I'm going to turn the hot water off so that there should be no leaks. My friend who is watering my plants has given me large buckets that we're going to fill with water so that she can use that to water my plants. My one neighbor is picking up my mail because for such an extended time, the post office wants to charge you for holding it. And my other neighbor is going to be driving my car every couple of weeks to get that going. I've got it all set up with the tax guy to do my taxes. He's going to get everything that he needs. So I've got that pretty much wrapped up. I can't think of too many loose ends there that I haven't thought of. So that part has been easy. And my daughter is taking my dog. So that's the hardest part for her because he's such a spoiled brat. So I expect a totally different dog when I get home because she has 3 of her own. So he's got to figure out his position in that pack. So that could be tough.
Yeah.
That could be real tough.
How about a plan to stay connected with your friends and family while you're away?
When we are in port, they will have satellite internet. And I've already have my kids signed up for WhatsApp so that we can talk internationally. I have to be careful of the time because everybody's going to be in a different time zone. But I will be able to text. I should be able to talk to them. I can even do a group call if I need to. And the same way with my neighbors in the back. They will have the phone numbers of my 3 children. My kids will have their numbers, and they too will sign up for WhatsApp so that I can talk to them while I'm away. I should be able to put my pictures out on Facebook. Everybody is saying that I should create a blog. No clue how to do that. But I know how to use Facebook. Yeah. So my social media of choice here is going to be Facebook so that I can journey to take the journal out to my friends of what's going on. So that's kind of what I'm doing.
I'm going to make sure Kate shares some of your photos with me because I'm dying to see them. I will admit that I did go to Viking Cruise and look at all of these amazing places you're going to. I'm so excited for you. And I would love to hear about where you are most looking forward to visiting.
There is we're going. Let me start where we're going. We start in Fort Lauderdale and go to Cancun, and then we're going to hit Central America. When we're in Panama, I've signed up for an excursion that will take me and others to an indigenous village where the Indians live as they have for centuries, and you actually get in a dugout canoe and go there. I'm looking forward to that. When I'm in Sydney, Australia, they have their tallest building in Sydney, and when you go up, you walk out into a glass floor so that you can see everything. I'm doing that. In another country, which doesn't come to mind right now, I'm going to be taking a caged tram through the village, or through the jungle, pardon me, where you will see everything. The places that I am most looking, in Vietnam, I'm going to be in one of the cuts where they go through town and the guy's bicycling in back.
Oh, wow.
The 2 places that I'm looking forward to that hit me immediately was India and Egypt. We make a couple different ports in India. And on my 76th birthday, I will be in Mumbai. So that's one of the places that I'm really excited to see. Egypt has always been at the top of my bucket list. And we're going to Luxor. We're going from India up the Red Sea. And we're going to Luxor. And this is where I bit the big bullet for the big trip, the big excursion. It's a 10.5-hour day, and you ride 3.5 hours on a bus to King Tut's tomb. and then you go actually into the tomb itself to see all the hieroglyphics, everything else. Big excitement, big excitement. The other thing that I'm doing when we're in Jordan, we're going to Petra. I'm going to Petra. No, I don't know where everybody else is. I'm going to Petra. I am a Indiana Jones fan, and the last movie was filmed at Petra. And as soon as I saw that as an option, I said, I'm going. So those are the kind of three big things that I'm looking forward to doing.
I mean, a once in a lifetime experience.
Yes. And there's always an excursion in the ports. So I think there's 58 excursions that you would go on in 29 countries. Mm-hmm. So it's exciting. It
absolutely
really is. It is really, really exciting. Yes.
So in wrapping up, I want to ask if you could give your best or the piece of advice that you think would be most beneficial to our listeners for anyone who is planning to travel solo, what would you say?
I'm saying go for it. This, as I said at the beginning, this is my first solo trip. But at this point in my life, I know who I am. I know what I like. I know that I like people. I know that I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I get that. But by the same token, I think that at the end of this, not only will I have seen the world, but I'll have made good friends. And I think that every Facebook page or comment about traveling is, you will have the best time. You will have the best time. And I've come to believe that. I will. So I recommend that to everybody. Give it a try. Start small. You don't have to go on this crazy world cruise like I am, but start small and try it and see if this is something that you say, yes, I can do this, knowing that there's going to be kind of like mistakes on the way, or I wish I had done this, or I should have done that, but give it a try. Why not? So there I am.
I love the advice. So Pat, thank you for joining us today and sharing your experience about the planning and preparation that goes into solo travel. I would love to have you back on the podcast when you return from your trip to tell us all about your adventure.
Oh, 20 pounds heavier. Yes.
It doesn't have to be the day you return, but sometime I would love to hear all about it.
That would be fun. Yes. I by that time, I'd be glad to tell you all about it.
Yay. And thank you to our listeners of Honestly Aging by VigRHealth. You can find links and show notes from this episode on our website at friendslifecare.org/podcast. If you like our show, please rate, review, subscribe, and join us next time. To learn more about aging with vitality, independence, growth, and resilience, subscribe to our blog at friendslifecare.org/blog.